Alright, welcome back everybody for part 7 here of the 1951 Ford shoebox. We're going to do the side treatment like we were doing in the previous video here. I got my welder hooked up, ready to go. And I got my panel ready to go. I did the 2 recesses on the top of the panel, right here where we have the tack welds on the top. And we're going to put this panel up. We're going to try to do a balancing act, and we're going to get this thing tacked in where we want it, and then go from there. So checking to make sure I got the 2 tacks there and there, and I want to make sure that this metal is going to want to sit flush on the existing quarter panels, and everything's looking good, so we're going to proceed. Alright, I'm going to give it a good tack here, get this metal, and I'm actually holding all the metal up to that point, so it's all flush, and all stays flush. And we're going to get rid of that round curve here that we have at the rear, so we'll give that tack. I like it. Alright. So far so good. Everything looks pretty good. All the way up into here. So now we're gonna start attaching the bottom as well. But I'm gonna do a couple more tacks here so up here doesn't flex at all. I'm going to get this all structurally sound to where it won't move, and then we'll focus our tensions down here. So I'm just looking to see if anything doesn't quite mesh up. I noticed that this part isn't quite down, and all this is down except for right here, so I'm going to give this a quick tack here before I concentrate on anything else. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just continue working out from that there. And as I'm doing this, I'm making sure I'm keeping pressure all along this so it doesn't bow out or anything that we don't want. as I'm welding, I'm actually going up in and tilting it forward into the metal, so it hits the existing and then goes on to the new metal that we're adding. So it gives it a really nice, weld there. All right. Now I think we got everything looking good here. I left about 2 inches here flapping in the breeze, so that if we need to bring this out a little when we meet this other panel, we can do so. And I have to remember exactly how the other side looked and everything, so we can mimic it exactly onto this side. So now I'm going to concentrate on this bottom portion, and we're going to get this where it wants to sit. So I'm going to get a couple clamps, and I'm going to clamp it here and there, so that we get the proper contour we're looking for. Trying to really play around with this and see where it wants to sit naturally and go from there. And I'm trying to line everything up and see if it'll actually sit where it wants to sit without it moving anything or putting too much stress. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually taking my hand on the back and my thumb in the front of this panel, and I'm trying to give it a little more of the roundness that it's looking for to follow that lower portion. See, that's a lot better. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll trim this back a little. Well, I believe. Or it may just work out. We'll see once we start clamping it and tagging it. I'm sure everything will just go right into place for us. So, take this clamp and I'm going to put it right on our inner structure that goes into our inner quarter panel here. I don't want to crush the metal because I want to keep it the way that we formed it. Give it a little bit of tension so there's no space between the metal and the 3/16 round stock that we're welding. As I'm doing this, I'm slowly putting the metal where I think it needs to be. I think I like it right about here. So I got one of these loosely clamped. There we go. Really want to try to go into the center of the clamp so it doesn't want to twist and undo itself. You have to hold a little bit like I am, so be it. What would be optimal right now is to have a hammer and hammer this down just a little bit. But I could unclamp it for a second, and I could actually take my clamp and go down this ridge and give it that little bit that it wants to have. Then come back to the area that you were at and make sure you like where you're clamped. Okay, right about I'm going to give it a tag, and then I'm going to come back with my hammer and dolly. I'm going to hammer and dolly this lip real close. So here we go. I'm going to do one on each side. Alright. Then, while that's there, I'm going to do two right here, so then we can start bringing all this together. That's looking good. I'm going to follow that down here because everything down here is lining up beautifully. So I'm going to clamp it in a couple key places. And I'm going to give it a tack and tack. I'm right on the lip, so I'm not messing with the curve at all. I'm going to keep moving this one. flush, you won't ever know that it was welded. So right there's 50% showing. Give that a tack. Right there. And then we get a tack on the other side. And then we're going to file that down. So I'm going to grab my other clamp and I'm going to clamp it, I would say right about there. You still want room to play over here. We got that roundness that we're trying to duplicate with the sheet metal. So she's under a little tension, but not too bad. Now, I'm going to attempt to try to weld, tack weld. Right there. Right there. This is sitting so flush and perfect right now that I could just tack this and it'll look really nice. So I'm just gonna give it a couple tacks over here. There, that worked out. Very nice. Alright, I'm going to continue to tack it where it's lining up good. Every inch. Just about. Okay. Then remove the clamp. Give that a tack. Alright. Now we got our curve coming in. You want to really be careful and go slow. Don't build up too much heat because we don't need any warpage happening in the metal. Even though we have, shape to it, she could still start to go south on us if we apply too much heat. So now I can see that this tack is too far away from the metal right here, and it's keeping the metal from hitting this because of that. So I want to actually grind that back a little before we continue to weld so that it meets up correctly. So I'm going to grab a cutoff wheel, make that look all nice before we continue. Goggles on. I gotta put my cutoff wheel. This will be real quick. Now all I need to do is nip this little bit off here, and it'll be able to come down and be more flush. This one too. Alright, now that we got that, put this down, grab our welder. I'm going to clamp it up first. That's where I want it to sit. There we go, that's what we're looking for. That's so much better. And then we'll continue that. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. Grab my welding helmet real quick and we'll take that in. That one down where this one is more. And I'll give that a tack real quick. And we'll come down after that one. And I'm going to squeeze this by the other weld to try to get that position where we want it. Okay. Alright, now we'll remove these and then we'll put a couple tacks where those were. There we go. Alright, now that we're all tacked in, we'll move on to the next two pieces. Now, with the next two pieces, I'm going to do it either in probably two pieces, two separate pieces. And I usually need a new piece of metal. So we'll take this. We'll bring these three pieces over. So I got a couple pieces of different sized metal. So first piece, so big, and then so on and so forth. And I try to use these spare pieces of metal to utilize everything that I have before I start cutting up square pieces that I've cut down. So what we have here is we have almost a complete piece. It'd be nice to get it all done in one piece on this side, but I'm sure we could do that. It just takes just a little longer is all. So maybe instead of, because I do try to utilize these pieces, that's why we're just doing it that way. try to utilize what we have before we cut up stuff that we could use in other areas. So what I'm doing right now is really, I'm sizing up the metal to see if I can, I'd like to either make this concave shape that we're doing here, because we got three things going on. We got the shape coming out, and then we got it going in. On this area here, we actually have this whole concave area, and we have a little bit of a bubble here. So we gotta make that, gotta make all that in one. Decision. Yeah, we'll make it out of two pieces. I would really like to utilize these pieces of metal, and it would be another good thing to show that even though you don't have a full-size piece of metal for the panel, you could still make what you're trying to make out of leftover pieces. So let me get you guys a little more so you guys have a better view in a way. So now you kind of see this round. This is what we're shaping here right now. I'm going to try to get you guys set over here so that you guys have a better view of what I'm doing down here. We're not going to need the welder right now. We're done with the welder. So I'm going to put this welder away, and I'll move you guys down and I'll show you. Grab you guys, because I got you guys mounted on a stand right now. If I dismantle this stand, let's see here. Alright, I got an idea. Bring this over here. Real quick. Alright, you guys are gonna go for a ride. Okay. Get you up and over here if we can. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can get you guys positioned. There we go. All right. So, there we go. Try to get that as low as I can. I'm sure it's going to move up a little, but that should do. Get this seat down a little more. Alright, there we go. Nail it on something sharp. Okay, so here's our radius. We have our inner structure, stiffener bar. have this shape coming out on the panel, very gradual, and then it does that 60-degree lift. We got all that tacked. Now we're going to worry about doing this piece. We're going to do it in 2 pieces. Reason being, I like to utilize the smaller pieces of metal before I use a big piece. So we're going to start with this piece. This will be our top piece, and then we'll find our bottom piece when we need it. So the first thing I'm going to need is the shear. I know I'm going to need, because we're going to cut that metal down some, and I'm going to need my marker to mark out what I want to cut, and plug that into the wall. So here's the piece that we have. This is going to go up in here. We got a bent corner here, which is very easily, taken out of the metal, so we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to cut away what we really don't need. So I'm going to put the piece of metal up here. And what I could see right when I put it up here is that we have a lot of real estate right here that we can mess with. So we can bring this all the way out, and we can bring it all the way in. Now we have to put into account that when we make our curve going up into here, we're going to have enough metal to meet this outside. So we don't want to cut too much off, is what I'm trying to say. So, just like I did the other side, we're going to put our piece of metal up to the existing metal. There we go. And you can see you have a lot of room to work with. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to press up against the existing metal here. I'll bring it out. So this will be right where it sits, and this is what we want to keep. So there's my mark. This will be our piece. Then we want to create our concave surface. So we want, good rule of thumb, a 1/2 inch from your original line. So we're going to put a 1/2 inch line right along the side of the existing line. Just like that. Okay, if you're a little off, just as long as you're in the ballpark, because we are going to be fine-tuning this into place. But this is just a good rule of thumb when you're cutting the panel to put into place. So let me cut this real quick. here's our piece as of now, and it does follow that shape very nicely. And again, we have the room for our design that we're going to be putting in, our concave shape. So just like the other side, and just like down here, this is the same shape that we're giving here. So we could just take our dolly and our hammer and start hammering this all around. But if you do that, you're going to have spots where the metal has nowhere to go and it's going to get ripply. So what I want to do now is I want to actually go to my shrinker and I want to shrink all this metal all in here. So I'm going to go over there, shrink that real quick. I could try to take you guys off the stand, bring you guys over there. So let's do that, because it'd be better if you guys seen. Alright, I got it on charge too, so I gotta unhook the charging cord and then try to get you guys off of there without shutting the phone down. There we go. Getting better at it, I guess. So, if you follow me, bring this over here. So, I'm gonna set you guys up somewhere so you guys can see. I'm gonna try to put it right here on the shoebox door. That ought to do. So again, I'm going to take this whole side here and I'm going to take my shrinker and I'm going to shrink this metal. Starting from the top, and then I'm going to work all the way down, and I'm grabbing as much metal as I can while I'm doing it. So here we go. I'm just going to go in small increments, about a ½ inch to 1 inch apart. You don't have to go crazy, just one round of this will suffice. Okay. Now I think I'm going to do one more round of this. So here we go. And I'm going to start a little off from where I did last time. Now you don't want to do this too much, because if you do it too much, then your panel's not going to match up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, if you guys just noticed, if you heard that, this whole panel, from giving it all this tension in here, you'll notice that it curved this panel. It did this, but gradual. So now we have that same curve that we need over there, which I'll show you right now. So we'll come back over here. I'll put you guys back on the stand, and you'll be able to see what I'm saying. Alright. There. I think we did it. We did it. Successful. You guys are back on the stand without shutting the video off. And remember, you guys, if the video all of a sudden just shuts off, It wasn't on purpose. It's just either the phone decides it wants to shut off, or I accidentally pressed a button or something. So okay, now we shrank all the metal where our curve's gonna be. And when we did that, it actually gave this panel the dome shape that we have going on the existing panel. And as we work this up, you'll notice this whole shape will get more intense, and it'll match up, you know, pretty well, and we'll just fine tune that as we go. So let me grab my dollies and my hammers and put some music back on here, and we'll go for it. We're going to need those, and we're going to need magnets. It's always good to have some pretty high-powered magnets. I wouldn't say crazy high-powered or nothing, but whatever you can really get your hands on. That's flat. So far shrunk the edge. Now we're gonna give it a concave surface. Before we do that, this edge that's all crinkled, we're gonna fix that real quick. So I'm just gonna take my dolly, I'm gonna take my hammer. If you don't have a dolly, just go up to the concrete, you know, or whatever, and get it going first before you dolly it, so you don't squish the metal together. So you get it going, then you take your dolly, get your flat part of your dolly. Even though that part's going to be changed, it's going to be rounded, you just want to flatten it out for now so it's just like the rest of the panel. And there's a little more here. There we go. See, now we're back flat, and we still got that curve going down. Now we can bring that curve out a little more by bending it. See, that's been up pretty good so far. So now we're gonna do our concave design. So, got your panel, you got it marked out where you want your concave surface to start. Remember, we're mocking the same thing up as we did on the bottom here. So you get your dolly, get it on the part that you want it to replicate, which is going to be this, and we want to fold it up. We want to bring it upward. So I'm going to try to come back here a little bit and put it on my leg. A lot of people have like a sandbag they put it on. I got a small one. You know, this one would require a bigger one, and then you put it through your English wheel. If we need to, we'll make a couple quick passes with the English wheel. I had to do that on the other side. But if you gradually work this metal into place, you won't need to. So let's try this again here. I want to make sure that I have enough space still, and that I like the shape of it, because once we start making the shape, we don't want to cut into the metal again, because then you'll whack your shape out. But I've had to do that, and we might have to do that again, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to work my way out on both sides. You can either start on the top, bottom. I find that if you start in the middle and you work out slow, you could actually retain that shape a lot easier than going from the top to the bottom. Alright. So, what about that much? So we can make the curve that we want. Slowly gonna coax this inward. Trying to make sure you guys can still see it and still be able to pound on this thing. So, still kind of in the middle here. Still, I'm giving tension on the dolly as well. Now, if you look at the shape, we're starting to get a gradual concave curve here. And we're going to follow that through, and then we're just going to keep on gradually making that more and more as we get this into place. You'll notice on this panel that there's some areas that are like coming up. So that means those are high, and this in between the waves, the low part, you want to whack those. So you can still see we're starting to get this curve. Keep following that and accentuating this curve. So now I'm really going to start giving it some curvature here. Get some position. Okay. You can see we have this curve going now. If you can really see it. Pretty good curve. But I know we need more. But we just want to check our position, check our length, make sure we're on track. So I can tell in here I need a little more. Remember, we didn't tack it here, so we could bring this out whatever we need. And we're gonna do a butt welding here. We're not gonna lap weld this. So see here that it needs a little more. So we're gonna give it that. There we go. All right. Now we want a little more here. You can always use the concrete to get it where you think, and then fine tune it with the hammer and dolly here. So that's what we want. Now just fine tuning this into the shape that I want. And I'm trying to pound out anything I don't like as well while I'm doing this. So everything's symmetrical and everything's got the proper shape. Much what it takes. You just keep going until you really like the shape and it's really finely tuned. And you can see we still got that dome shape that we were looking for on this side of the panel. You can either bring that out a little more depending on if that's what we need or not. I know we will. I know what we're looking for, so I want to give that a nice curve and put it like this. It's looking pretty good so far. So I can see we still want more right here. So to get that little more that I need, you can see that we're pretty well in tune with the shape here. So all we need to do is finish that shape off. And it's all about how you hold it and support it as well. So I can see I can give it a couple whacks like this. I'm going to start it off so I can see what I need. And then I'll slowly move it down. And now we're getting the rest of that curve, the end of that curve going on. And that's why we had to shrink all this, so you didn't run into problems where the metal has nowhere else to go. Now if you could see, I'm actually using this part of the dolly just to give me a little more. You'll know what the dolly's capable of as you pound the metal out. The more you do this, the better you get, you know. Always make sure you're checking fitment so you know where the panel's going. Okay. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm gonna give this a little something. That brought us closer. Maybe we're gonna give this more with a different dolly now. So this is pretty, very finely tuned piece here. You know, it's very, very straight, as much as you know, as far as we're at as of now. But we're gonna keep on shaping this piece until we like what we see. See, we're almost there. Some more right here. So I'm going to do this part without a doubt. I'm just using my fingers, and it just gives it just enough pressure to get everything how you want it. If you don't like something, you know, just hammer it back a little. It'll slowly start getting there. get it exactly the way I want it, I'm gonna push it into place a little bit. I'm gonna gingerly give it some pressure. Okay, now you can see that about right in about here, because of the shape we're doing, you'll see that it wants to have more of a gradual concave shape here, and sharp at the bottom. So this almost lines up, you know, exactly flush. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna clamp this into place where we're gonna act like we're gonna weld it, but then I'm going to mark out the existing metal that we don't need. So I'll make sure that we have our marker close by, which we do. We have our clamps right over here. We'll get these clamps on real quick. Easy way to do this. We'll do one right in the middle here, so it draws that metal in where we know that we want it. So let's see if this one will do that for us. I'm gonna bring that in, because this part up here is gonna be more inward than the rest of this, so it comes like out and down and around. I think the easiest place to clamp this is going to be right here. So I'm going to clamp it here. That was definitely not enough tension. Tighten it up a little bit. Try again. Want that to go inward. That's to go outward. Like something like that. Hopefully we didn't tighten it too much. We might have. Let's see. Yeah, tighten a little too much. Alright. We'll get this clamped into place. There's one. Then we'll bring it right about in here. You don't want to be too far because you might start twisting it about like that. So that gives us about our curve that we're going to want. And then I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to take my marker, I'm going to cut this away so then we could do a butt weld where it's perfectly butt welded together. And that's going to be in the next part. Again, you guys, thanks for following and liking and subscribing to the videos. We're going to have a lot more going on here. I'll see you guys in part 8.